Hey strangers, it's Hypnotic. Now if you're watching a build list this close to 3.20, you're one of three people. A procrastinator, someone who constantly has build remorse and is unable to stick to a choice, or a new parent who hasn't had enough time to do any research. Hey, congratulations by the way. I hope your new family brings you joy. I'm going to quickly go over 5 builds I'd recommend for the upcoming Forbidden Sanctum League. Some are tried and true and casual friendly, while others I'd recommend for a bit more experienced player. I hope you're able to find a build you like or reinforce a choice that you've already made. Let's get into it. Alright, first up here we have Poxus Righteous Fire Jug. Poxus, that's just so weird to say. This man likely knows more about RF than GGG does, and there's a reason his build has been a top build for a few leagues now. That's because of the lack of buffs, and the meta is stale. I'm half joking. The new chase uniques have me excited. Righteous Fire is the quintessential starter for a brand new player, or for someone who wants a comfortable, low impact build. The clear with Scorch Perlif is great, minimal gear requirements to get going, and Jug in particular is exceptionally tanky, and able to swap to Righteous Fire after first lab, whereas Inquisitor has to wait. Keep in mind some uniques for the build may be pricey at first due to popularity, but will dip rather quickly. Pox is currently focused on Jug, but Inquisitor is still viable even after the Pious Path nerf, and will be more capable of damage at the top end. This build includes an elaborate PoB with tons of notes, as well as a website with an incredible wealth of knowledge, and any question you could possibly have answered. Second up we have Palstron's Explosive Arrow Elementalist. Explosive Arrow is a build I played on a champion in the last gauntlet with great success. This may have been skewed by the fact that I dropped a Cool Rain, but that's not important. While champion is obviously the more tanky option of the two, Elementalist has the prolifs and the damage going for it. Explosive Arrow's ailment damage was slightly nerfed in 3.19, however the actual hit damage was buffed. The conclusion being that the build is more than capable in 3.20, and you shouldn't have any trouble whatsoever. Palstron has a few videos on the build, as well as one on what not to do while playing Explosive Arrow. Third, we have Subtractum's Bane Occultist. Curses got some significant changes in 3.20, and this includes an inherent 25% less effect for Bane applied curses. The TLDR being that clear maybe feels slightly worse, but boss damage will be improved due to more effective curses. Profane Bloom pops are, as always, a gold standard for clearing. The malediction changes hurt, and feels like it was caught in the crossfire with the curse changes a little bit, but it certainly doesn't cripple what still remains a solid build. Subtractum has extensive knowledge in Chaos Dot builds, and has played at least one variant of it on a number of leagues now successfully. Small disclaimer here, the next two builds may require some expensive gear and or some respecking depending on your goals, so I only recommend them if you're okay with this. Fourth, we have Crouching Tuna's Poison Blade Vortex Occultist, with optional respec into Poison Spark. One of my personal goals this league is to focus on Delirium Atlas nodes and farm Wave 30 Simulacrum. As such, I've been leaning towards Poison Spark Occultist. With the Reliant on Ashes, Phantasmal Spark, and an Enlighten, I would generally advise league starting as a more affordable build like Poison Blade Vortex, and then transitioning to Spark when you have the currency to do so. You could also opt to stay with Blade Vortex if you wish. Tuna has a guide for both builds and is starting Poison Blade Vortex as well. And fifth, we have Fuzzy Duxie's Rain of Arrows Raider, with optional respec into a bow build. For the past 3 leagues, I've personally been a Lightning Strike Raider enjoyer, and following Fuzzy's fantastic guides with 0 issues. That ship has sailed, hit an iceberg, and sunk due to being unable to refresh Elusive with Nightblade, amongst other nerfs, but what still remains strong is the quality of life from the Ascendancy itself. As a Raider, you're able to cap spell suppression and ailment immunity much easier, and you're fast as well with Frenzy Charge stacking. This makes the initial early mapping a lot easier to gear for. Fuzzy's Rain of Arrow Raider is meant to get you into maps fast, down to pinnacle bosses, and eventually speccing out into either a different Raider build with a higher ceiling, or swapping to the classic Tornado Shot Deadeye. Sticking with Rain of Arrows right to the endgame is also an option, but generally not advised. He has an endgame update video for it if you do decide to go that route, however. From experience, I would personally recommend this and any build guide from Fuzzy. And finally, as an honorable mention, because it's the holidays and I'm feeling generous, it's Tripolar Bear's Seismic Saboteur. Now, I don't tend to play bossing builds, and I've not played this personally. However, with the amount of memes and people questioning who at GGG is in love with it enough not to nerf it, I feel obligated to mention it here if you enjoy bossing and the trap playstyle. Check out Tripolar Bear's guide if you're interested. And that's all I have for now. I want to give a quick thank you for the support I received on the League Start guide I released previously. Best of luck on your League Start.